well, this might be the last opportunity a woman gets a chance to vote. What? What are you talking about?
That was crazy.
What are you talking?
So Stephen A. Smith was a special guest on a podcast where he talked about the Democrat Party, the turmoils in the Democrat Party. Now, as you all know, Stephen A. Smith is a Democrat. Stephen A. Smith also said that he was voted for Kamala. Also, Stephen A. Smith is a sports analyst, a very effective sports analyst, really smart, by the way. But when it comes to politics, I mean, Stephen A. Smith could be better, but at the same time, I mean, Stephen A. Smith does have his rights to his beliefs, and if Stephen A. Smith wants to be a Democrat and wants to vote Democrat, let Stephen A. Smith vote Democrat, okay? But the fact of the matter is, we're seeing Stephen A. Smith this year talk about how the Democrat Party is a problem. Okay, and that the Democrats often believe in their own delusions and stuff, and Stephen A. Smith is actually obliterating this Democrat Party. We've seen Stephen A. Smith talk about this on his own podcast show, the Stephen A. Smith Show on YouTube, and also when he made appearances with Bill Maher, as well as when Stephen A. Smith made an appearance on The View. And Stephen A. Smith is actually brutally honest. Your stuff when he's just as much as he's brutally honest about sports, Stephen A. Smith is also brutally honest about the Democrats, and not sure how the left will handle it or the Democrats will handle it. So let's go ahead and get into this big discussion where, Stephen A. Smith appears on the Full Send podcast talking about how Democrats lost and that the leftist extremists have gone too far with the woke stuff. So here's Stephen A. Smith on the Full Send podcast. Let me know your thoughts about this video in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have this particular topic. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click bell notifications, so that way you're notified if future uploads and updates. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
What do you think the left's going to have to do to kind of rebuild and change things up with their messaging?
They need to grow up.
4 years.
They need to grow up and get with the program and understand that as times and things may have changed, things remain the same. James Carville, a Democratic strategist, it's the economy, stupid. He was famous for that quote. When you think about the economy, when you think about borders, when you think about security and safety in the streets of America, that's what people care about. The Democrats tried to get us to care about other stuff. And it's not to say that folks don't care about those things, but they don't care about those things more than they care about money and safety.
Right. Yeah.
It's never going to change. And so what happens is that, they've been a bit transparent. One could easily argue, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I don't like either side. I think both sides need a whole lot of work.
I was wrong. Apparently, Stephen A. Smith is not a Democrat. Apparently, he's an independent who voted for Kamala for the election. So he voted Democrat.
But in the same breath, it utterly disgusted me, when I watched, how things transpired. I was going to vote for Kamala Harris because with Trump, my attitude was he's going to be on a revenge tour. And it's going to be the same kind of chaos that existed during his first term. And I didn't think the nation needed that. But I had no problem with anybody who felt otherwise because I saw some of the things that the Democrats were doing. You are a Republican and you're being accused of being a threat to democracy because he's an aspiring authoritarian and he wants to do X, Y, and Z. But then you're in office with your president who promised to be a one-term president, who promised to be a transitional president and just a stopgap to pave the way for a younger generation. Then the Dems win the midterms and you feeling yourself and you say, nah, I'm staying. I'm staying. Even though I'm going to be 82 if I win the election and I got to give 4 years after the age of 82. You said that shit. And then after you did that, then you turned around and what do? They grease the skids for you so there's no primary that you have to go through where you have to face any competition. Then when you show up June 27th for a debate where you look like hot garbage, they turned around and said, you got to go. So you get booted out, pushed out July 21st. They elevate the vice president, which I understood because obviously she's the vice president and what have you, and she should have been next in line, but she didn't have to go through a primary. Okay, so America is about dollars and cents, sure. But we also pride ourselves in a capitalistic society and being about competition. Well, when did they face competition? You didn't allow anybody to compete against them. You didn't allow leftists or Democratic voters to pick a choice between, you and a Dean Phillips or a Marianne Williamson or whomever else was interested, even a Bernie Sanders or somebody that may have come into play. You didn't give an opportunity for that level of competition to exist. So because you didn't do all of that, wait a minute. That's not our democratic society. Now, you didn't violate any laws. You didn't do anything unconstitutional, but that didn't mean that you were on the up and up. It didn't mean that you avoided being slick and shrewd and maneuvering your way through it. And then you turned around and tried to guilt us into voting for you. Michelle Obama, a vote for him is a vote against us as women. So it can't be a vote for somebody's wallet. It can't be a vote for somebody's safety. It's got to be about you. It's got to be about, it's a vote against women. Oprah Winfrey goes out. Well, this might be the last opportunity a woman gets a chance to vote. What? What are you talking about?
That was crazy.
What are you talking?
Dang! Stephen A. Smith just lit up the Democrat Party, turning it upside down on its head. Stephen A. Smith just exposed the Democrat Party. Dang! You'd have thought he'd talk about the Dallas Cowboys for a moment. Nah, Stephen A. Smith talk about the Democrat Party, exposing them, saying the things that we're thinking, saying the things that we've talked to each other about the Democrat Party and stuff. He made an excellent point. Stephen A. Smith said that this election, they made it about themselves. Okay, they didn't focus on the people. They say they focused on the people. They didn't show it. No, it was all about themselves. It was about the Democrat elites. It was about Kamala and everything. It was about Beyonce and Kelly Rowland on the stage. It was about Cardi B and everything. It was about Eminem supporting Kamala and everything. It was all about Kamala smiling and giggling and everything. It was all about, basically they're all about welcoming the competition and stuff and being able to compete, but it's like at the same time they've removed the competition and stuff and want to dominate and want to go and control everything. Dang, Stephen A. Smith just lit them up. And yeah, Stephen A. Smith does have the right to go ahead and vote for Kamala and stuff. He had the right, man. At least he had a good reason and stuff because of the fact that he saw that, Donald Trump was on a revenge tour and stuff, which I don't believe, by the way. But if he is, I mean, it's like, I wouldn't care. I would have more money in my pocket and stuff. My family would be better off. But at the same time, Stephen A. Smith is seeing, have seen what we've been seeing about the Democrat Party and stuff. And he voted for them, but he's admitting and stuff where they went wrong and the fact that they were wrong for the things that they were doing, trying to silence people, trying to control the narrative and stuff, and basically doing the very things that they accuse the Republicans of doing. Now, I'm not a Republican myself. I'm not a Democrat either. I'm an independent with some conservative tendencies. And I'm a Trump supporter, by the way. But at the same time, the Democrats lost the election because of the Democrats. It wasn't the people. It was because of the fact that the Democrats weren't consistent. They weren't steady. They were hypocrites. They were basically trying to go ahead and use the woke ideology to control people, bully people, silence people, and also trying to eliminate the competition and stuff. When in reality, people aren't really focused on identity politics. They're focused on where the money is going to come from, where the next meal is going to come from, how they're going to keep the electric bills and stuff, how they're going to put gas in the car, how they're going to keep their family afloat, how they're going to keep their jobs. That's what they were focused on. Also, they were focused on how safe the community is going to be, how safe they're going to be, how safe the family's going to be from these criminals and stuff. You can't have safety without law enforcement there to enforce the law itself to get rid of these criminals. Okay, and that's what the people voted for. Not only on the federal level, but on the state level and the local level. You heard about it in California where people go ahead and just decide to go ahead and get all the mayors and stuff and district attorneys who are all woke, who are light on crime and stuff, and then go ahead and kick them out. That's the things that Stephen A. Smith talk about. And I'm actually amazed by him and applauding him.
She said that?
Are you telling me that women not going to be able to vote come the midterm election?
That was crazy.
In 2 years, in 4 years, they're not going to be able to vote for the presidency. What are you doing? Yeah. And so you see stuff like that, and then we think about racism and we think about all these other things, whether xenophobia, misogyny, all of these different things. And then you say, wait a minute, you kind of fueling that too.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm sitting with the three of y'all right now. Neither of y'all are black. I don't have a problem with you. So what? And guess what? I didn't vote for Trump. You voted for Trump. That's your business. You got that right as an American citizen. I'm not tripping. It's based on what you think your needs are and what you believe is in the best interest of the country. And your vision may be different than mine. And as long as you can articulate that vision and you ain't scared to do it and you ain't some damn supremacist or something that's hating people and wishing violence upon other people, I'm good with you.
Why do you think America's lost that?
I think because the politicians have ruined this country. I think that they have been caught up in sustaining whatever power that they've had, that they've used the American citizens as pawns
100%.
and have created stuff and friction where it's not there. So ultimately it became that, because you have these pundits on both sides of the aisle on the air spewing nothing but negativity towards one another, along with an unwillingness to compromise, forcing us in this binary system that we live in to pick a side.
What do you think the left's going to have to do?
He laid it on them again. Stephen A. Smith is just lighting the Democrat Party up, and it's about time for the Democrats to go ahead and just, I mean, it's a growing number of Democrats who left the party and stuff to go ahead and become Republicans or even independents and went on ahead and voted for Trump. Okay, they voted for common sense. They voted for freedom. They voted for having a better economy, becoming safer and stuff. Not because of identity politics and stuff or being afraid that the rights taken away. Stephen A. Smith basically stated that your rights were never going to be taken away in the first place because no one can take away your rights. All right, period. The only people who can take away the rights are nothing, not even ghosts. Ghosts could go ahead and take away rights. Why? Because they're the rights that everyone has as long as they're human, American citizen and everything. Okay, and as long as you're a citizen, your rights are yours. Okay, if you're a law-abiding citizen, your rights are yours. No one's taking them away from you. No one's going to keep you from voting for, voting in the primaries and stuff. No one's going to keep you from having to vote for a female candidate. That's the fear mongering that Stephen A. Smith pointed out that the Democrats were putting out there to the different voters. And guess what? Stephen A. Smith also stated that the Democrats just ate that up and accepted it and voted for Kamala, only to see the Kamala loss and stuff, because the fact of the matter is they voted based on emotions. They voted based on fears and stuff, based on lies. And that's what Stephen A. Smith was talking about. Same thing that every other American voter was talking about and that hates. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have for this particular topic. If you enjoyed what we're sharing in this video, go ahead, smash like and share the video for our across social media. And if you haven't done so already, enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.